just turned 12 o'clock. So it's my birthday and it's Pip's birthday. I just turned 68. Pip just turned 15, which makes her 105. Not bad for an old dog, is it, Pippy?
And I'm still 21.
I'm only 16, but what the hell.
I'm here with my friends CK and Mikey, and we've just had a few drinks for our birthdays, but it's been fantastic. Motor sailing for old dudes and old dogs. Well, they say that all good things must come to an end, and unfortunately our time at Great Keppel Island has done just that. The weather's still northerly, so we're going to use the last bit of it to shoot across to Yellow Patch. It's another nice spot, not quite as great as here though, and we'll have some really good memories of our time at Long Beach. But anyway, we've got about 4 hours to travel till we get across the Yellow Patch. We've got to get there at the high tide. We'll do that and we'll spend a night or two before heading back south through the Narrows again. Well, it's good to be under sail again. We've got a nice little breeze, a little bit fine, but we'll use it. And it's good to have a little bit of company on board with me. CK, she's got a bit of a smile on her face. I think she's a sailing girl. Anyway, 4 hours and we'll be at Yellow Patch. All right, all anchored up in Yellow Patch. Great spot here. A little bit shallow. We've got spring tides at the moment, so we're going to lose quite a bit of water, about 3.5 metres as the tide goes out, but we're in about 4.6, so we should have a bit of clearance under the bottom. And yeah, what are we going to do? Have a swim, go for an explore? Plenty to do in here. It's a lovely spot, nice and clean. Just slower than Pip. Couple of good days at Yellow Patch. We've been out of the wind here anyway, but we need to make our way down to Gladstone, so we're just going to up the anchor now, and we've got enough tide I think to get out through the entrance, and we'll make it down to Sea Hill. We'll probably have to hang up again and wait for the tide in the Narrows. It's still blowing a bit, still got 20-25 knots, but it's from behind, so it won't be too bad as we make our way down to Sea Hill, probably 3 hours I reckon. First trick will be just navigating out through the shallow water across the bar here, but I think we've got a pretty good idea where all that happens. Anyway, up with the anchor. We've just come under Sea Hill, got out of the wind a little bit, but from the east it's blowing in here a little bit, and we decided we're going to sneak up Pacific Creek. I haven't been in there for quite some time. So some leads up in front of me there, we just got to get them lined up. Plenty of tide here at the moment, so we'll sneak into Pacific Creek. It should be nice and calm in there, get us out of the wind. We'll go and have a bit of a snoop around the pilot station, and then in the morning we should be able to get out a couple of hours before the high tide and do the Narrows. So yeah, it's all about comfort, but we've had a great little motor sail across from Yellow Patch this morning. It's been really good. This is one of the old pilot station houses. There's 3 of them here and one newer one. Sea Hill used to be the pilot station for Port Alma, but now all of the pilots come from Gladstone and come up through the Narrows in their pilot boats, or probably helicoptered out on some occasions to get the ships into Port Alma. Port Alma, they load salt, and also we've seen this morning cattle, live cattle export as well. So yeah, this was the old pilot station, been around for a long while. These buildings are probably over 100 years old, and now I think they're just holiday homes, so people probably come out and enjoy this area. I'm only guessing, but I'd imagine this was probably a bit of a slip. The building behind the camera is probably a winch house, and I'd say they would have probably dragged the pilot boat up onto the slip when they'd finished using it. Not sure, but to me that's what it looks like. The Sea Hill light, been here for a long while. I'd say it's well over 100 years old, probably nearly 200. I'd say it's timber construction with corrugated iron over the top. I've seen a few like this. Some are timber framed with weatherboards on them. This one may have started life that way and they've gone to corrugated iron, a bit cheaper. Would have probably started life as a acetylene light, maybe. I'm not sure, I'm only guessing. Could have been paraffin or something like that. Now, of course, it's batteries, solar panels and an LED. So still in use, but an old structure, that's for sure. Well, one night at Sea Hill's probably enough. Plenty of midgies last night. We had all the screens up and still woke up to be getting eaten a little bit in the middle of the night. So anyway, we've just left. We've got about 2 hours before high tide, so we're going to run that up to the cattle crossing. We've got a bit of speed already off the tide, and we'll get up to the cattle crossing. That's the shallow bit, and we're heading south this time. Only seems like a month ago, probably was a month ago, we're heading north up through the Narrows, and now we're heading south. You do pick up a bit of speed because you've got the tide running into the cattle crossing, and if you get there at high tide, then it's running out again out towards Gladstone. So it always gives you a bit of a lift, and it's a bit of an interesting trip. So we'll enjoy it. Well, once more at the cattle crossing, Ramsey Crossing in the Narrows. We're just getting set up on the leads now, so we're going to head across the shallow patch pretty soon. And we've got plenty of water this afternoon. It's very high tide, 5 metre tide here, so we've got heaps under us. Yeah, it's a lot more pleasant doing it on the inside route. With this wind, we've got probably 25 knots. If we'd gone outside Curtis, it would have been quite an uncomfortable trip, especially with an easterly or southeaster blowing. So a lot nicer doing it this way. Once again through the Narrows safely. Navigated through by CK this time. She did a great job of following the leads and the marks, and got us through the shallow part safely. So we're just coming down towards Graham Creek now. We'll be in the industrial area of Gladstone pretty soon, and not long after that we'll be tied up in the marina. So do a bit of resupplying. Gladstone VTS, Gladstone VTS, Gladstone VTS. This is Peggy-Anne, Peggy-Anne on 1-3, do you read?
Peggy-Anne, Gladstone VTS,
Yes, VTS, this is Peggy-Anne. Just informing you, we're heading, we're southbound just opposite Graham Creek now. We're heading for the marina. We were planning on using the Jacobs Channel, over.
Romeo, Narrows down to the marina of the Jacobs Channel. So please stand by channel 13 while transiting the construction craft.
Thanks VTS, standing by 1-3. Well, we're heading to the marina down the Jacobs Channel, and this is the LNG plant behind me on Curtis Island. It's only been finished for a couple of years, but no ships in at the moment, but lots of LNG being sent overseas from this facility. A huge piece of infrastructure. I don't think it employs that many people though. It employed a lot of people building it, but since it's been finished, the numbers running it is pretty well fully automated, and the numbers running it are quite small. But there'll be a lot of maintenance jobs and things like that, so I guess it is employing people. But 3 plants on this part of Curtis Island, so 3 different LNG plants, 3 different companies exporting gas overseas. Okay, so we're in Gladstone for a couple of nights, just in the marina here. It's probably the cheapest marina on the coast, about around about $50 a night for our boat. So it's pretty reasonable considering other marinas, and it's a pretty good marina. She's 5-star rated, I think, so the facilities are all good. They've got a courtesy bus that takes you into town, so we've used that and we've resupplied. We've given the boat a wash and cleaned it up a bit, got a bit of the salt off, and we're ready to go again. So we're going to wait for the high tide this afternoon, and then once the tide's running out, we'll get on it and just slip down to the Boyne, I guess. That'll be our next destination. We might spend a night there before heading off to Pancake. Weather looks like sort of calming out a little bit for the next couple of days. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, it's been a good stay here in Gladstone. Well, this is what you do when you're under a schedule. We've got to get to Bundy in a couple of days. Christina's got to get on the train, and we're just pushing into about a 15 to 20 knot sou'easter at the moment. It's right on the nose and it's bloody ordinary out here. But anyway, we'll have to do this for a few hours. We'll get up to Pancake, and hopefully the weather tomorrow, it's forecast to go around to the north, so that should do us just fine. But these are the sort of conditions you don't really want to do. Anyhow, just find somewhere to bolt yourself in, try and enjoy it. Cheers, big ears. Well, the best thing about that trip was what we're doing right now. It was a bit of a shocker actually. We sort of had to beat all the way out of Rod Harbour into the easterly, and it was pretty uncomfortable for the whole way. So we're glad to be anchored up here in Pancake. A few bickies and cheese, a bit of a rum and dry ginger, and a bit of dinner and bed, I guess. Pip's already done the bed thing. She had a real bad trip. She didn't like it very much at all. Bit of slamming and banging. The boat handles it, but it's hard on the crew and not much fun. So hopefully we do it better tomorrow when we're heading to Bundy, or whenever we head, we'll have a look at it. Anyhow, this is pretty nice. Well, the sun's just about up, I think. It's a little bit overcast today. Got very wet this morning taking Pip over to the sandbank in the dark. It was pretty drizzly rain, but it's cleared a bit and we've just snuck out of 1770 and we plotted a course in for Bundaberg, saying that we'll be there at about 12:38. I'd say probably 1 o'clock, 1:30 we'll probably be in the marina at port. Anyhow, the weather's looking good. The wind's just starting to get up a bit and it's from behind, so it's pleasant. I think even Pippo's not too bad, she's settling in all right. So we should have a pretty pleasant trip. No sun, but yeah, the wind where we want it, so that's good. Well, we're being powered up by the wind now. Bit of a squall coming through and probably getting about 20 knots. Not too bad here, it's offshore, so not too much of a sea being built up. But we're doing about 6.7 knots now, so giving us a good little lift with this bit of breeze. So we'll ride it, not getting too powerful, so we'll ride it out and take the speed while we're getting it, and gives us a little bit of a help along as we get to Bundy. A little bit cool, it's an overcast sort of day, but yeah, the travelling's quite good. So hopefully this wind veers around a little bit to the north. It's supposed to in another hour or so, so if it goes around a bit to the north we'll be able to ease this sheet out a bit and run along with it, and it should be a pretty good finish to a good start. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, it's nice having this bit of wind giving us that little bit of a lift as we head down to Bundy. Bright lights, eh? Well, it was a good trip to Bundy. We left 1770 just before daylight this morning and had it pretty calm for a lot of the trip, but then probably just before lunch the wind got up from the west and was blowing offshore. It got up to about 20 knots and we held the sail and had a really good motor sail right down to the leads coming into Bundy. So we picked up a bit of time on that, and now we're tied up in the marina and we're here for the Go West rally. So I'm going to give the people that come in on the rally a bit of a talk about places to visit while they're on the east coast of Australia here. We'll meet a lot of new friends and have a bit of fun. It'll be good. But anyway, it's nice to be tied up in the marina. Bundy's a great marina. It's friendly staff. I know them here pretty well, but they're very friendly, can't do enough for you. And it's a great marina to stay in. So we'll enjoy a week before travelling a bit further south.